Hi friends! I wanted to talk today about gratitude and just kind of how it's played a role in my life. So I am not an expert on gratitude, but it's something that I really makes a big difference in my life, and is something I do a lot, I guess. I, I wouldn't say that I am more grateful than other people, but I have noticed when I encounter hard things in my life, I do turn to gratitude pretty quickly. I thought everybody was like this, but I have noticed when people encounter problems, that maybe I do things a little differently. I am more inclined to be grateful for things. And so it's just been a real blessing in my life. I think a lot of people don't realize what a boon being grateful is, and how much it can improve your life and make it happier even when hard things are going on. So gratitude is actually a commandment. If you're a Christian, it's a commandment to be grateful, and that feels kind of frustrating sometimes because you feel like, well, what if I'm not in the mood to be grateful? What if I'm having a bad day or whatever? But I love this quote from Elder Uchtdorf. He says, it might sound contrary to the wisdom of the world to suggest that one who is burdened with sorrow should give thanks to God, but those who set aside the bottle of bitterness and lift up instead the goblet of gratitude can find a purifying drink of healing, peace, and understanding. There is one thing we can do to make life sweeter, more joyful, and even glorious, and that's gratitude. And I guess it's, you wonder, you're like, well, how does that happen? Like, why is that even a thing? And so I think from what my experience with gratitude is, this is why it's a commandment. The Apostle Paul, he says, in all things be thankful. And he actually wrote that in prison, that phrase. He says, in everything give thanks. That's the Apostle Paul says that. And like I said, it feels counterintuitive to like your natural inclinations that when you're going through something difficult that you should be grateful. But if you've ever heard the phrase, there's a phrase that says, gratitude is the language of heaven. And so when you think about that, and as a Christian, you want to go to heaven, you want to be in heaven, you can't wait to get there. And if gratitude is the language of heaven, then you can experience heaven right now. You can experience it today. You don't have to wait until your life is over to experience heaven. And I think that is what the Lord is trying to tell us by saying that gratitude is a commandment. Because commandments are not given to like make our lives harder or just to see if we're going to do them or not. It's just like, no, he's trying to bring us joy and light and happiness. That's what these are for. That's what commandments are for. And so if that is the case, then that would be true of gratitude, is that he is trying to make our burdens lighter. And so when you think about gratitude, it makes you feel happier and more peaceful, and it helps you kind of have a bigger perspective on things. And that's what President Nelson says, that he says, does gratitude spare us from sorrow, sadness, grief, and pain? No, but it does soothe our feelings. It provides us with a greater perspective on the very purpose and joy of life. So it's pretty incredible to think that you can do all of that by changing what you think about when you're in a tough spot. And I feel like it's very natural when you're going through something difficult to just kind of wallow in it, right? To just feel like, oh, this is the worst thing that has ever happened, and my life is miserable, and I don't like this, and it's really hard to get out of that spot. And that's what's so incredible about gratitude, is it kind of gets the wheels turning into a different direction. So one scripture that I really liked that I read from Psalms, I found the other day, it says, oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to to the children of men, for he satisfieth the longing soul and filleth the hungry soul with goodness. And so I just love that. I just feel like it should be like posted on your mirror or something, right? It just that beautiful poetry of the Psalms about what the Lord provides for us. And I think when you take time to be grateful, it makes your life more poetic because you're able to see the beautiful things that were already there that maybe you were missing when you were so narrowly focused on what is going wrong, right? And especially when something's going wrong, there's all kinds of things that can go wrong, right? Like you can have health challenges or financial challenges, or a child who's not making choices that you wish they were making. I know in our life, we have a house project that has been insanely long. So we've been remodeling our house for 5 years. And sometimes my sisters will say to me, "Oh, you're so patient." But I don't know that I am particularly more patient than somebody else. But if something has made a difference, it would definitely be that gratitude has made a huge difference in my life. So, you just look at your situation and you just think, well, this bad thing could have happened, or this is something that we were able to accomplish and we've gotten this far, and, we still have each other, and there's always something to be grateful for. So I don't know that you're necessarily grateful for the thing that is happening, right? Like that can be difficult and might take till after it passes, right? But there's so many things surrounding it that if you take time to think through those, then it will actually help you to like be able to get through the difficult part, because you're focusing on the good things that are happening. And so I just wanted to share some gratitude practices, that have helped me. So like I said, I'm not an expert, but gratitude, I do like make a point to make gratitude a big part of my life. So here's some of the things that I have done to do that. So the first one is to just stop negativity in its tracks and to point towards gratitude. So when you're in like this really negative, stressful situation, it's really easy to go downhill and start in this negative spiral of all of these horrible things. And so I don't know, anytime something hard is happening, I will take time to think about like, what are the good things that are happening around this? And that really helps pull me out of negativity. And then another thing that I have done in the past is I have had a practice of writing down gratitude. And this is really incredible because there's all kinds of categories of different things that you can be grateful for that maybe you haven't even stopped to think about. So you can think about the world and how beautiful the world is and all the different natural resources we have in the world. You can think about inventions and different things that have made our lives easier and have less suffering and less sorrow. You can think about your nation, the world that you live in, and the blessings there are that are associated with the freedoms that you have. You can think about the human body and all the different parts that work together. And even if one part isn't working perfectly for you, you can just think about all of the other parts and what they are, the functions they're performing and doing for you. You can think about the gospel of Jesus Christ and how it has blessed your life, and the different people along the way who have sacrificed things so that you could enjoy the gospel. You can think about your ancestors and the things that they have done to make your life better, and the examples they've set for you. You can think about people that you love, people who have passed on that you love, and people that are still here with us that you love. And that, just think about this list, and like as I've been talking, how much it excites you and makes you just reflect on things that are so amazing in your life, and it just puts you in a good mood, right? I've had the practice where I do it once a week, but you can do it often, and you would be surprised that it's like there are so many things, and you'll start writing them and you're just like, I can't even cover all of them. And that's why you kind of end up splitting it up over multiple days, because there are just so many things to be grateful for. Another practice that we have done in our marriage is had 3 grateful things at the end of the day. So well, I'll tell Ben 3 things I'm grateful for that he did that day, and he will tell me 3 things he's grateful for that I did that day. And it just is it's really blessed our relationship to kind of say those things out loud and regularly, saying those things that say, hey, I noticed and I care, and it makes our lives better. And again, like, all of those happy feelings bubble up and bless you and make you love each other more. And it's just amazing, right? It's all the power of gratitude. And then the last one is meditation, doing a gratitude meditation. So I have a guided meditation that I like to do sometimes before I go to bed. But it's just basically like reviewing your day and looking for moments that you can be grateful for throughout the day. And I just want to tell you this one story. So the other day I was doing this, and it had been a horrible day. It had been a really, really bad day. And I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I guess I'll just listen to it. I honestly don't know that I'm going to be able to find anything from today that I can be grateful for, because it was so bad. But it was pretty incredible as I was going through it, like, to realize, like, oh, there was this tiny little thing that happened that I missed, or, oh, I completely forgot about that thing that happened, or, wow, I saw this really beautiful thing that I am so grateful that I saw. And it was just really surprising to me, because I just thought this whole day is like dumpster fire. I'm so glad it's over, you know? And instead it was just like, wow, like the Lord really does show up every day, and it's just up to us to notice it. And like, you really just have those days where you're just like, for sure this one was terrible, right? Like you're the Apostle Paul in prison, and you're just like, okay, this is the instance where I don't need to be grateful. And instead God is saying, like, hey, I am always giving you stuff, and if you notice it, then your life will be so much better, and you will be so much happier, even though you still have to go through hard stuff, right? Like, in life, you can't really take the hard stuff away. It's not just like, oh, because I'm a Christian, like nothing bad is ever going to happen, and things will always be smooth sailing and happy-go-lucky. And it's like, no, I mean, all of us have hard stuff happening. It doesn't matter who you are, right? The rain falls on the just and the unjust. But the secret, the key for Christians, is that you have this extra tool that other people might not have, and that is noticing the Lord's hand, being grateful for where he's showing up, and just having this practice of gratitude to reflect on the mercy of the Lord and his goodness and his multiple blessings. And so, yeah, I just encourage you today to take some time to think about the blessings in your life. Maybe make a written list, or take some time this evening to talk to your spouse about how grateful you are for something they did for you, or take some time to think about your day and recognize what you could be grateful for that day. So that's my challenge for you, and I will talk to you guys later.